Workers not only do a tough job, but they care so much for the patients that when holidays come, they're spending their own time, they're spending their own money to make sure that the patients at this hospital have a holiday. That is a level of care that you don't pay for. That is a level of care that people are honored to be doing this job. But what do we need to do to support the people who are doing this job? We need to make sure when they're calling for safety that we don't have this many workers. I was here a couple years ago and there was this many signs or more that time. So we need to make progress. We need to fight for the mentally ill who can't care for themselves. And that is that's our duty. Our duty is to do that as a society, but our duty is also to take care of the people who take care of the most vulnerable. So please support those that work here. Please support state workers everywhere who are caring for the victims of domestic violence, the people who need care with WSH, the people who are in all of our facilities. We need your support, we need your help, and we are there to help you. And that is our job, and we're proud to do it. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll hear from Senator Karen Fraser.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Karen Fraser, State Senator from the district just south here in Thurston County. Delighted to be here. And first of all, thank you all for being part of organized labor who deserves so much credit for bringing us the middle class and working hard to see that people have the American dream, a good job, good pay, good benefits, and decent leave policies. So keep it up. I recently read the biography of Frances Perkins, who was the Secretary of Labor under FDR, and she was really the founder and the fighter for the basic safety standards for workers, and I really encourage you to read that. It is a tough fight to get safety standards, and it's easy to slack off, and so that's why recognitions today and pointing out that we still have worker safety problems is so important to advocate for this. It's not easy, and we have to keep going here and in other sectors of work. I have met with employees of the hospital and the various institutions here that are represented, and over the years, and I have been astonished at how there's sort of an acceptance that yes, you're going to get hurt on the job. Now this shouldn't be, and I ask them, well, why? Why do you do this? Well, you know what? They care about the patients. That is the common answer I get. So we have state employees working here in the hospital and the Child Treatment Center and other institutions who really care about the patients and the people they're taking care of. But we really need to do more for safety. I am on a committee of the Senate that had an oversight hearing on the hospital, and it was absolutely clear that more staffing is needed. More staffing. It is underfunded, and more support is needed for community mental health services once a person leaves here, because people don't necessarily stay here all their lives. And the other thing that's going on that is wonderful is generally in our society, I think, more compassion for people who have mental health problems. And some years ago, I was the sponsor of a bill that allowed the hospital to put the names of the deceased on the tombstones in the cemetery for the hospital. These are real people. They aren't numbers. And just like the people who work here were injured, I mean, look at all these. It's shocking, astonishing that this many people were injured on the job, and these are the people who reported it. So there are probably a lot of others who said, oh, well, I'm not going to. But I sure agree with the president who said report, because that puts good pressure on getting improved safety standards and improved staffing. So thank you all for your dedication. I appreciate being here today.
Thank you. And next we'll have Steve Conway, Senator.
Thank you. It's again an honor to be here. I've been here, I think, almost 10 years. I don't know when we started this, Elijah. I was really pleased with Elijah's presentation, so let's give Elijah a big hand again, all right? I think Elijah really captured what I was wanting to say myself. This is, you know, you should know Commerce and Labor now 24 years. This is the most dangerous work site in our state. This is the most dangerous work site, and 168 assaults tell you why. And this has been going on now for too long. This has been going on for too long, and I think finally we're beginning to see the glimmers of change here. The glimmers of change. Because I think Elijah said it correctly, we will not stop these assaults until we get this staffing ratio right in this hospital. All right? We must get that staffing ratio not at 26 like the bill we passed, frankly, was too high. It needs to be lower. That staffing ratio must be lower. If we're going to stop this, we do not want 168 assaults. This is an embarrassment. This is an embarrassment to us as labor folks, as community leaders, as politicians, that this is going on. It is an embarrassment. And it's going to take a number of other changes out here at this state hospital to make sure that we change this, to create this culture of safety that Elijah referred to. A culture of safety. It's going to take some dollars for wages in this place, all right? It's going to take dollars for, because you're not going to get the nurses that they hire are going to go down here and work at other hospitals. Why? Because they make more money. And they get assaulted here, all right? So why would they want to stay here if there's this assault problem and their wages are better elsewhere? In fact, at Madigan Hospital, wages are better. It's going to take dollars. I hope this new select committee that we put together realizes we're not going to solve these problems until we recognize we have to have an incentive for people to work here. And I mean that. It has to be a culture of safety so that there are no assaults, and we have to pay people properly because they need. I've talked with them. Karen is absolutely right. There are people who are working out here who are committed to their job, committed to helping the mentally ill of our community. But they can't do it when there isn't the right kind of momentum around them to keep them safe and to pay them properly, all right? So as we move forward, we did a lot of work in the last session of the legislature. Some good things happened. Some good things did happen. But we need to do more. And we all need to do more because this is shameful. 168 assaults. Come down here, CEO of the state hospital, and look at the 168 people who've been assaulted in that facility. That is wrong. We should change that. So here we are on Worker Memorial Day, a great day, April 28th. Yes, let's fight for the living, all right? Let's fight for the living. Let's fight for these employees so that this doesn't happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And now we have Steve Kirby, State Representative from the 29th District.
Christine Kilduff is standing behind me. Very happy that she doesn't have to follow Steve Conway. I'm Steve Kirby. We're the double Steves out of the 29th District. And I'm really lucky to be where I am because Steve Conway was there for 10 years ahead of me, fighting for workers' rights and workers' safety. And to me, this is really a no-brainer. This is not rocket science. These 168 signs are just, as Steve says, they're an embarrassment. There is no good reason for it. And you know what? We know, those of us who are here, we know what's going on here. You folks have come down to the legislature year after year after year and told us so. I believed you. But not everybody does, apparently. Either they don't believe you or they don't care. And I am very happy to see that we're finally putting a little bit of money into the system to try and get this place up to even a minimal standard. But you know what? We need to be very diligent in terms of what we do as we go to try and fix this problem. Because just spending more money on Western State Hospital isn't going to get the job done. The fact of the matter is, let me ask all of you who are workers in this place, what do managers think is the solution to the problem? More management. That's, if they learn that in manager school. So that's what happens. It makes its way up. Those are the folks who talk to the people, who talk to the people, who talk to the governor. And who is not being heard are the people, these 168 people. You know, these aren't just assaults, these are the bad ones. There are more than this. And it has to stop, and it's not that hard to figure out what the problem is. But, you know, we've been beating our heads against the wall. We're finally making a little bit of headway, but do know that the people you're seeing up here recognize that we need more people on the ground. We don't need more people supervising the very few people who are on the ground getting hurt. So that's going to be the kind of thing that we're going to have to really watch out for in the future. I appreciate all of you showing up here today. You know, I've wanted to get this off my chest for quite a while, and this is a great opportunity. So thank you all very much.
Good job, Thank you, Steve. And next we have Christine Kildorf, State Representative.
Thank you, Elijah. I think, Representative Kirby, you got it off your chest, don't you think?
Yeah.
So that said, today as we stand here, we are in the 28th Legislative District. And before I joined the legislature, I'm a first-term legislator. I was an 18-year state employee, so I know the effects of no COLA, seen it firsthand on morale, on turnover, and that was in a safe workplace at the Attorney General.